Following the death of Pope Francis on April 21, 2025, at the age of 88, the Roman Catholic Church now turns its eyes toward the College of Cardinals, who will soon gather in solemn secrecy to elect the next pope. This historic moment marks the beginning of the sede vacante, vacant seat, period, and initiates the sacred and secretive process known as the conclave. Ultimately, it is the Holy Spirit who chooses the next pope, which is why it is crucial that the faithful pray. New popes are elected in the conclave, which literally means with a key in Latin, is the process of election. It takes place in strict isolation to prevent any external influence. Since 1878, all papal conclaves have been held in the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. Before the conclave, the cardinals hold a series of meetings called general congregations. All cardinals, including those over 80 who cannot vote, participate in these discussions. Canon law states that any baptized male Catholic can be elected pope. However, since 1378, every pope elected has been a cardinal. The College of Cardinals typically chooses one of its own members. As of April 23, 2025, there are 252 cardinals and 135 cardinal electors, cardinals under the age of 80 eligible to vote. However, 2 cardinals have declined to attend due to their health. Cardinal Vinko Puljic, the 79-year-old Archbishop Emeritus of Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Cardinal Antonio Canizares, Archbishop Emeritus of Valencia, Spain. These princes of the Church represent every continent and a wide range of pastoral and curial experiences. The next conclave to elect a new pope is on May 7, 2025, at the Vatican upon conclusion of Novemdial's prayers for the soul of Pope Francis. The Vatican just announced that a conclave to elect the 267th pope will begin on May 7th. The cardinals present in Rome have agreed to begin the conclave on that date. The date was set on Monday, April 28th, by the approximately 180 cardinals present, just over 100 of whom are electors, gathered for the 5th General Congregation in the Vatican. The conclave will take place in the Vatican's Sistine Chapel, which will be sealed to visitors during those days. Vatican News explained that the conclave will be preceded by a solemn Eucharistic celebration with the votive Mass pro elegendo Papa, attended by the cardinal electors. In the afternoon, the cardinal electors proceed in a solemn procession to the Sistine Chapel, where the conclave begins to elect the new pope. At the end of the procession inside the Sistine Chapel, each cardinal elector takes the oath as prescribed in paragraph 53 of Universi Dominici Gregis. Through this oath, they commit, if elected, to faithfully fulfill the munus patrinum as pastor of the Universal Church. They also pledge to maintain absolute secrecy regarding everything related to the election of the Roman pontiff, and to refrain from supporting any attempts of external interference in the election. At this point, the Master of Pontifical Liturgical Celebrations proclaims extra omnes, meaning that all individuals who are not part of the conclave must leave the Sistine Chapel. Only the Master himself and the ecclesiastic designated to deliver the second meditation remain. This meditation focuses on the grave responsibility that rests upon the electors and the necessity of acting with pure intentions for the good of the Universal Church, keeping only God before their eyes. Once the meditation is delivered, both the ecclesiastic and the Master of Pontifical Liturgical Celebrations leave. The cardinal electors then recite prayers according to the Ordo Sacrorum Rituum Conclavis and listen to the Cardinal Dean, who asks whether they are ready to proceed with voting or if any clarifications regarding the rules and procedures. All election procedures take place exclusively in the Sistine Chapel within the Vatican Apostolic Palace, which remains completely sealed off until the election is concluded. Throughout the election process, the cardinal electors must refrain from sending letters or engaging in conversations, including phone calls, except in cases of extreme urgency. They are not allowed to send or receive messages of any kind, receive newspapers or magazines of any nature, or follow radio or television broadcasts. To validly elect a new pope, a 2/3 majority of the electors present is required. If voting begins on the afternoon of the first day, there will be only one ballot. On subsequent days, 2 ballots are held in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. After the votes are counted, all ballots are burned. If the ballot was inconclusive, a chimney positioned over the Sistine Chapel emits black smoke. If a pope is elected, white smoke will billow out of the chimney. If the electors fail to reach an agreement on a candidate after 3 days of inconclusive voting, a break of up to 1 day is allowed for prayer, free discussion among voters, and a brief spiritual exhortation by the Cardinal Protodeacon, Cardinal Dominique Mamberti. Once the cardinals have elected a new pope, the last of the cardinal deacons calls the secretary of the College of Cardinals and the master of pontifical liturgical celebrations into the Sistine Chapel. The dean of the college, Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, speaking on behalf of all the electors, asks for the elected candidate's consent with the following words. Do you accept your canonical election as Supreme Pontiff? Upon receiving consent, he then asks, what name do you wish to be called? The notary, with 2 ceremonial officers as witnesses, carry out functions by the master of pontifical liturgical celebrations, who drafts the document of acceptance and records the chosen name. From this moment, the newly elected pope acquires full and supreme authority over the universal church. The conclave ends immediately at this point. The cardinal electors then pay homage and pledge obedience to the new pope, and thanks are given to God. The Cardinal Protodeacon then announces to the faithful the election and the name of the new pontiff with the famous line, Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum, habemus papam. Immediately afterward, the new pope gives the apostolic blessing Urbi et Orbi from the loggia of St. Peter's Basilica. Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.